afternoon. This is your general message. I still have to get my microphone on. Sorry. I try to keep it kind of behind me so the shuffling of the cards isn't too loud. If for some reason you can't hear me, then let me know. This is your general message. Going to do the past, present, and future. First, going to get the overall energy of the divine collective, both feminines and masculines. Again, that is not, it is energy, not gender. As we both, male and female, embrace both divine feminine and divine masculine energy within ourselves. It's important to balance both energies within yourself. Even for a male, you are encouraged to embrace the feminine side, your divine feminine side of yourself, as well as your divine masculine side. In divine feminine, it's important for you to embrace the divine masculine within you as much as your divine feminine energy within yourself, so that you are balanced and aligned. Spirit, give 3 precise messages for the collective on your divine feminine energy, please. Thank you. And for the divine masculine, please. Those that are feel they're more masculine or resonate more with the masculine energy, you would be this side. And if you resonate more with the divine feminine energy, then you'd be this side. That doesn't make you either too masculine or too feminine in any way. It's just energy. Everything is energy. We are all connected as one. We're all connected energetically to one another. I have already, of course, shuffled all these, but okay. Energy for the divine feminine today, please, for 24 hours. Divine feminine, what they're doing. Ooh, nicely done, divine feminine. I know, I was going to say ladies. So maybe that is a feminine or a female then that had it since ladies came out, but it certainly still could be, it's still just energy. On this side, divine masculine, please. Anything else for the masculine side? I think we have 2 for them. Thank you. Oh, very nice. I love it. Love it. I love it. Everybody's going through transformation. It's so exciting. I'm sure you're feeling the change and the death and the rebirth. You're going through that and you feel it. Like when you have gone through it and the next day you wake up, you just know that something is different about yourself. And if you're in tune with yourself and your energy, then you certainly, not only do you sense it and know it, but others see that change in you as well. This divine feminine is beautiful. This is the fairy guide. It's the 0 card. So like in tradition tarot, it would be the Fool card, right? Taking that leap of faith forward, but this is much more. This is like the fairy godmother card. This is higher than that. It's higher than the high priestess card. It's you've transformed and excelled through to your awakening state. This is pure awakening energy. Undressing of a salad is you're juggling all things. You can juggle your world between worlds. I'm hearing between the dark world and the light world, between other dimensions and other timelines. For some of you, you have even now realized that you are astral traveling, or maybe you're not aware that that's what you're doing through your dream state. When you're sleeping, maybe you're having dreams of these other realms or other realities. Know that you're astral traveling to those timelines, to past lives, to timelines that are occurring at the same time as this timeline that you're in, another dimension. And you're realizing that now and balancing them out, knowing that you can easily juggle between worlds. This is beautiful and exciting for you. Also, you're the whale, you're able to dive deep in those emotional places with wisdom and emotional intelligence, and you're going deep with calmness and steadiness, and you know you've mastered now when something triggers you. This is also a number 7 card. When something triggers you, to just dive deep like the whale, deal with whatever emotion that triggered, heal it, release it to the ethers, to spirit, so that you can heal, and ask Archangel Michael to fill that void with unconditional love for yourself. That is awesome. Okay, so it's a number 4 card, 0 and 7. Divine Masculine. You have a number 10, which is transformation and rebirth there. It's like the shedding of the snake skin type. You've shed the old way. You're realizing that you've gotten rid of that old skin, and you're feeling that new rebirth energy. Masculines, again, the Maya Master is before you were, even though you felt that change, that rebirth, you're afraid to admit it to yourself. Remember, we had this, I think, yesterday. This is a number 6 card. Take that step back and look and see, are you really wanting to cling on to that old way, or are you ready to embrace that new future? Take the leap of faith and jump forward in that playful energy, because you have been reborn. You have gone through that transformation. For the masculines that are watching this, this is your guardian of unawakened. So you not only have transformed and been rebirthed and reawakened, but you're being protective of those that are unawakened, because now you have, and this is like a portal to me regarding you and a divine counterpart perhaps. This is very charismatic, creative energy as well. But so now when you look at people, that you're going to see them a little differently, because you're looking at them from an awakened point of view. Your eyes now are seeing things a little crisper, a little brighter, a little clearer, a little more positive, not so optimistic and dreary. It's like you see this now as a portal, and you're looking through it. So when you're looking at these other people, you're no longer seeing them for their earthly avatar or meat skin, whatever you want to call, meat suit, whatever you want to call their earthly body, but you're seeing them from how their soul is and what their potential of becoming when they're awake. And that's a beautiful energy. People may not understand how you can see. You might look at something and be like, oh, that's so beautiful and crisp and fresh, but other people may still not be awake, and they are going to look at it totally different, very optimistic and dreary point of view, and they won't understand why you see such beauty in this, what you're looking at. But no, it's because you're looking at it now with new, fresh eyes, awakened state of mind, and you're seeing it from the soul perspective, as it should be. And this is another 10 card, the friends, and you and your higher self, but also if you have a divine counterpart, that you're not irresistible, you're irreplaceable, irresistible, both words are coming into place. But the word I was thinking of was more like you don't want to be separated, like even when you're apart, away from one another, you're connected through telepathic communication. You know your soul. You finally realize with your awakened state that soul, that connection with the person, you may be miles away from them, but you still feel like they're your best friend. They're someone you don't want to replace, and they make you feel childlike, free. This new awakening, you realize, has put a whole new spin on, like a new spin on a ball, and just out of control. You just feel lively and youthful again. Very nice. I'm happy for you. And you should know that, as beautiful as it is, know that your growth, your rebirth, your transitioning is not over. Especially from now to the end of the year and going into 2020, the soul rebirths are occurring more rapidly. A lot more people are wakening up right now, but also the change has been so rapid that all throughout the day you're receiving like DNA upgrades or rebirths in the sense of energy. So you may be noticing, say, every day for a while at 9 o'clock, be more in tune with your body and how you feel it, like precisely at 9 a.m., 4 p.m., 6 p.m., 9 p.m., 11 to 12, and 2 to 3 in the morning. These are during the hours during which a lot of upgrades are being done, so your body will feel different during those times. Maybe if you're at work and at 9 a.m. you may feel either jittery or anxious or dizzy, and these are ascension symptoms. But know that it's all because you're just ascending with upgrades. So for some reason today, Spirit wanted me to use these cards, and this is the same kind of deck, but it was two different decks that I had, and for some reason Spirit wanted me to combine them, which I've never done ever, ever. I always am very careful to keep them separated, but we're going to do it because Spirit requested it. So these are a lot to shuffle, but we're going to start off with a past, present, and future. For the collective, please, Spirit, past, recent past for the collective, please. That's a lot. Let's see what we got so far, because that's a lot. So we have the Page of Swords, the High Priestess, very nice. One more for present. Some of these cards are, like I said, very old, so they have some tears on them. Future. Cards for the future. Spirit cards for the future. One more for the future. And you can talk regarding the future for the future. Really? dropped a bunch of them. I don't want them to get mixed up upside down. There we go. Alright. So in the near past, you had Page of Swords, messages coming in. Someone sent a message regarding things they needed to cut out of their life, or boundaries were set. Because of they needed to do this they needed to cut things out of their life or set boundaries for their highest good. And who did this but the High Priestess, of course. She stepped into her power. I love that card. The High Priestess is beautiful. She stepped into her power, balancing her worlds, inner and outer world, listening to her higher self. And the Page of Wands was messages coming back regarding this. Perhaps there was a message in recent past about the balancing things, about those words that were spoken, or perhaps they tried to ignore what the boundaries were and still try to keep some communication in a friendly zone, so that they didn't want to end this connection altogether. So they were testing the waters and sending some messages just to test the waters per se. And it was regarding their options. They wanted to keep their options open, so they didn't want to burn the bridge. So they sent back messages regarding maybe just ignoring what boundaries were spoke of, but just trying to balance things out so that they didn't burn a bridge, so they could leave their options open regarding the flame connection, spiritual things, earthly things, etc. But not being met with any change or difference. This left one of them parties, Five of Cups, feeling empty, feeling without, even though they still had the cups there behind them. They felt like the storm clouds were looming over them. All they could focus on is what they had lost. Okay, in the present moment, what's on their mind is the Lovers. They dream of you, counterparts, the Divine Feminine or the Divine Masculine, whoever set their boundaries. The High Priestess set the boundaries. She and the Divine Masculine is feeling left, and all he can think about is what he lost in the past, and now he still has that lover on his mind, and holds her to regard. It's all he can think about. When he awakens, it's on his mind regularly. Even throughout the day of work, he still has that thought in his mind, and images and daydreams of being with her. The Queen of Wands communication. He knows that she's standing her grounds on her boundaries that she set, and he's now recognizing her passion, that she's passionate about these boundaries and standing up for herself, and he sees her as her worth now, that sees her from a new perspective, because she stood up for herself, and it sees her own worth, but also is loving herself. She's shining her light brightly. What both are looking forward to. He does want the Ten of Cups with the Divine Feminine. He's working on this, building his pentacles so that he can have his wish fulfillment. He knows that he has to currently step into the position of Emperor from this King. I guess we don't have the King on here. For some reason I felt the King energy. In the Lovers card, when I picked it up, I felt the King energy, but here it's the Emperor. So stepping into the Emperor position, with this rebirth, he's seeing and been enlightened. And before, maybe he didn't want to see it or admit that he sees it, but he sees it, he feels it. There's no getting around it. It's in front of him, it's behind him, it's all he can think about. Emperor. Because he's been awakened with more enlightened information. Regarding that balance that wasn't there before, the Six of Cups. He knows that there was things at play regarding this that kept people watching this connection, and things that were keeping you apart. But he wanted to bring balance with Six of Cups, and that this is in the present moment of what he's thinking about. In the near future, you have that Ten of Cups, which is probably why Spirit wanted you to mix both decks together, so that you can see that even though that's presently what's on their mind, that is coming to fruition in the near future. They're bringing their wish fulfillment in the near future to light. Water, creativity, emotions. This is all about the family home environment. Someone may even have a cat. This is all about celebrating with friends and wanting just to buzz around and be more family around the house more often. Being more at home with one another is also what I'm seeing, hearing. Regarding a Two of Wands situation in the near future, there's a decision to be made, a path to be chosen. Hopefully you're choosing to be in your spiritual path, your mission, which is the most important choice of all, the Two of Wands. Either way, they're going to lead to the same destination. One may get, it's like a detour in the road. You might be headed down the road and the bridge is out, so you got to take a detour and go around a different route, but you're going to end up in the same destination because it's a spiritual path. It's spiritually guided, this connection. Regarding the two of you, if the same one party is still with a energy in their home environment that they have to leave or take care of a situation with, let's say, a baby mama, then they, once that's handled and they're out of that energy or environment, then they will get back on their track, back on path. But Spirit's guiding and working with them, working with the change of those environments. There's spiritual synchronicities, birds, okay, I heard birds of prey. So any bird of prey type energy, could be an eagle, a hawk, a vulture, right? But they're sending them as signs and synchronicities for you to realize this is a divine connection. That this is a divine path that you're supposed to be choosing. But the choice has to be made urgently. Now is the time to make that decision, that choice. Knight of Swords. This communication that they're coming to you, divine feminines, the masculines are coming with this, there's communication will be coming rapidly with truth. So this is a truth that's coming to light, whether it be by the masculine themselves or you're learning of something, but I get the energy that this is the masculine themselves coming forward towards about this path that they're choosing. They're going to choose which path they want, and they are choosing to have that Ten of Cups. They're choosing the path that's going to lead to their home environment, that wish fulfillment. Six of Swords. For some, the divine feminines are still moving forward in their journey to the calmer waters, in their path, soul purpose, and in their mission. Moving away from the shadow energy of the masculines. Not wanting to be in third-party situations, excuse me. The Three of Wands, the decision had to be made, and the masculines have chose their decision. Whatever that is, they're leaving the other two wands. They're turning their back to those side pieces, per se. They're looking forward to their ships coming in, and they're ready to move forward to calm waters, to a more passionate future. Looking forward to their future with passion. I'm sorry. I was corrected in the way it was worded. Judgment is here. Judgment's going to balance things out regarding them taking so long, making this decision, not choosing the correct path in the past, not making the right choice in the past. Also in the near future with this, these were the cards added to this is the Nine of Cups. All they're left is waiting for that 10th cup. But this is a very celebrated, and he's ready to celebrate because he knows who he's given that last cup to. He's made that choice because Judgment came in, and it was regarding that two, let me set that down, regarding the Two of Cups, equal give and take, the same one that they're having telepathic communication with, the one that they share their dreams with, that astral traveling with. They're ready to surrender not only to the divine Great Spirit, Nine of Wands. After this long journey, this long battle, they have surrendered to Spirit to say they were ready. And they're ready to come forward to Divine Feminines, although they may not feel worthy, as they feel and see now how they treated her in the past, with the energies not believing her worth. But now they've seen the difference and don't understand how they confused the other persons that they were leaving their options open with. But Spirit says they have chosen, and they are coming to surrender because of the Judgment. Leaving behind those sleepless nights with the pain. There's also an owl here in the window for those in synchronicities regarding birds. Ace of Wands. This is your mirroring one another regarding this connection. You both are feeling with your, to the core, you feel this energy between the two of you with this connection, the two flame connection, the one soul that's divided to two persons. But the Chariot is here to move forward, and for some you may feel stuck, but it's important to not be stuck, not overthink this, not overanalyze it. Allow the energy to flow, to get in purpose, to get in your soul purpose, to get in mission, so that you can move forward in this journey. In the recent past, clarify the recent past cards to give us some more explain, please. Let me pull those down so we can see them again. Hopefully you can see that better. Can you see it? Oops, sorry. Let me see if I can lower it. Okay. It's a little closer for you. Okay, so clarify the Page of Swords in the recent past. This communication from the Divine Feminine regarding her boundaries. Clarify Page of Swords in the recent past. The Ace of Swords, Spirit says this is the truth. And it took strength to come forward and set those boundaries. Clarify the High Priestess, please. I don't know why we need to clarify the High Priestess, but we will. Alright? Because she set her boundaries because of the three-party situation. She is the High Priestess, and she knew something stunk here, that there were rocks being thrown, character assassination, I'm hearing. Things were blocking her growth, holding her back, and she needed to set these boundaries and pull her energy back for growth, for her to move forward in her spiritual journey. Anything for the Page of Wands in the recent past regarding Divine Masculines and messages to feminine. That's not feeling it. Okay. They know that they were 5 of Swords. They know that they were being someone they were not. They were wearing a mask, pretending to be something they were not. They, at one place, presented themselves as this person. At work, they were somebody else. In a home environment, someone else. They were hiding their true self back here behind the corner, but putting on a mask or a persona of themselves to all these people around them, the other women, 3 other people. This particular masculines that this is referring to had 3 other women, or this feminine had 3 other men. Which is why the Divine Feminine had to set her boundaries, and because of the low vibration, the negative energies that were coming into her energy, because we are all connected, the negative energy of those other side pieces, we'll say, baby mamas, whatever the case is, that energy is connected to the masculine, and then as they connect, that negative energy was coming through on into the energy field of the High Priestess, and she knew this. She knows the truth behind the lies. She knows the truth behind the deceit. There is no veil. The veil's removed to a High Priestess. Spirit gives her the visions. 7 of Wands. They thought that the Divine Feminine were making something bigger than it was out of this ordeal. They thought it was, maybe they were treating it like a mockery, perhaps. When they first set the boundaries, the masculines didn't take it serious. They thought it was maybe a joke, because this person here is laughing. I'm trying to say that politically nice, because what was coming through was very heartbreaking for some. Princess of Cups, Princess of Rocks. They know now that you are very emotionally intelligent, High Priestess, that you are passionate about your journey and your beliefs, and that they see you as very gifted, and they seen the error of the way they were seeing you before. And they saw that you were the knight in the way of Knight of Swords. You were coming cuttingly with truth, and it hurt them. It caused a lot of chaos, a lot of storm in their life to hear these boundaries being set, because no one had set boundaries to them before. No one had walked away from some of these masculines before. They thought they had, that they could leave their options open and be a player energy, or have multiple options. Have a peeker here, hang on. Temperance came in to balance that out. And so they showed, and Spirit showed through Temperance, showed the masculine that the Divine Feminine has transformed. She's gone through her transformation and rebirth, and that she is transformed and glowing. She's in her, stepping into her power. 7 of Cups. Yes, regarding the options that brought heartbreak. Many tears were fallen for this. It was like the moths that ate away at the very basis of this connection. These beautiful dragonflies were all around, but there were something, the moths were the other parties in this connection, eating away at the very core of that connection. Being something, giving the nightmare, the masculine Temperance was here to bring to show the masculine the masks they were wearing in their sleep. You can see how the different masks in these nightmares that they were having, they were being laughed at in their dreams, but Spirit was showing them that this is how they were being, kind of like the Ebenezer Scrooge story, you know, the past. If you stay on this journey, this is what's going to happen, and if you change your ways, this way is what you're going to end up with. So they've seen the error of that way. 5 of Cups in the past. Five of Cups, yes, they had to turn away because they realized that they were attacking themselves. They were self-sabotaging themselves, causing this chaos upon themselves, and they needed to put an end to it. 10 of Wands, and put down the burden. Present energy. Just want you to be able to see what cards we're clarifying or adding to. Okay, Lovers. Spirit, clarify the Lovers card here. That's all they have on their mind, yeah. That the masculine says that they feel youthful, childlike when they think of the divine feminine, that it just puts a smile on their face when they think of them, when they look at pictures of you as well. For some of them, they either have pictures of you or they're looking at pictures perhaps on social media of you, but it brings a smile to their face and tears to their eyes. Get a lot of emotion with that card. Clarify the Lovers card, please. First, present. That was an unusual wave of emotion that came through with that card. So some of these really know what they've lost. What the masculines that know for fact you pull away are very heartbroken regarding the three-party situations that wasn't working. But they're now ready to put the work in, Spirit said. They're trying to face their sorrows, face their fears. Thank you. But it's all they think of. They can't get the divine feminine out of their mind. They visualize and have daydreams of what life could be with them versus where they're at. And that they are sorry that they made such a mistake. They know now that they made a mistake with the choice that they made, leaving her as an option and not securing her because they fear someone else is going to put a ring on her. Yes. Queen of Wands, please clarify, Queen of Wands. They know that she made a choice. Two of Swords to cut this out. With this Two of Swords, it's different than the one where they're crossed. Here, this divine feminine chose this sword of truth to be in her truth because she has divine guidance. Her hand is over here, but not on that sword. It's behind her. There are two birds here. There was a choice. She's no longer blindfolded. It's removed because she sees clearly. She is a high priestess. She listens to her higher self. She listens to the divine guidance and moves forward with that guidance. And she has gone in to heal herself, to fill her own cup of love, nurture herself, so that she has come into union with self, which is beautiful. Divine Feminine's great job. Anything else for that card? And she can hang her swords up now, while she does have one sword up in truth. The other swords are just hung on the wall. She is yes, Spirit. Invulnerable. She's no longer feeling vulnerable. Spirit said she's invulnerable. Why? Because if you're defensive, then you may feel vulnerable. But to be invulnerable is to be completely trusting Spirit. 10 of Cups. Clarify 10 of Cups for them in the present, please. Four of Cups. The 10 of Cups here was what they're trying to build for, work for. They want that stability, their wish fulfillment. The 10 of Cups, they are trying to work towards offering that cup of love to the divine feminine and working towards it. Like we said, they're working here. Some of them are busy around the home front making changes that they need to make behind the scenes without anyone knowing, but they do feel the loss. They are ignoring those other options now and feel like they have lost that chance at the divine feminine. Regarding the 2 of Cups, they feel like they've lost the chance to have that equal give and take, nurturing one another for their highest good. What is that? They know that it's angelically. They see the divine feminine as angelic, but they want to fulfill her dreams. They want to leave behind the shadow side. And they want to watch the sunrise with you. How beautiful. Six of Cups. Knowing that there's only one cup. They're not having other options. They want to balance things. And the Emperor here understands the boundaries have to be set, and that the Divine Feminine cut out to protect herself, set boundaries and cut out the BS regarding the other two or three women or men, whichever the case be. But again, we have bird of prey here, or birds here that were, I don't know what birds those are, but for synchronicities, those that receive birds as in their environment. Here she's sitting down with her legs crossed, feeling very comfortable and secure. I never noticed that before. I always thought she was standing there, but you can see she's actually sitting down with her legs crossed. Very comfortable. She set her boundaries. She has no shame. The shame is on the masculine that thought they could play her. And now he's seeing things from a different perspective. Spirit has gone in and hung him upside down, or encouraged him to see things from another perspective. Regardless of how bad the storm seems, they need to look at it from another point of view regarding those boundaries that were set that will lead to calmer waters. Six of Cups for balance. Clarify the Six of Cups here in the present. Six of Cups in the present. Ooh, wow. Okay. So presently, there's going to come another tower for the masculines regarding the three people, the three-party situation, because it wasn't balanced, because justice is coming in. They had their, they were surrounded by abundance. They just weren't seeing it. So for some of these masculines or feminines, they were only focused on their pentacles, that they could see their earthly possessions, but they didn't look up to spirit and know that abundance was theirs for the taking, but all they could see were their choices that they wanted to choose. So the tower is here to straighten things out. It looks like it's probably at the end of today or later tonight, something like that, regarding the connection. But the masculine wants to come forward, Knight of Swords speaking his truth. This masculine wants to take control of the situation. He's been very encouraged by this tower moment. He knows that he needs to move and move fast. Something has happened with his spiritual awakening that he now sees that he doesn't want to be separated. He can't be the Maya master anymore and ignore the signs that are right before him, because he sees things differently. He's been awakened. Look at there's like an avalanche coming in behind him, a tornado to his left, and a storm ball or a solar flare coming from his right, and even this horse looks like it's running with fear. So urgency is in that card. Some urgency for sure. Spirit, give us clarification for the future with the Ten of Cups, Two of Wands, Knight of Swords, Six of Swords, Three of Wands, and Judgment, as well as Chariot, of course. Give us clarity on these cards as well as advice for the future of how they need to move forward with these decisions. What advice does Spirit have for the collective moving forward with these decisions, these energies coming at them. Clarify the Ten of Cups. An end to the mockery for one here in the future, near future, because they've been awakened. They're coming forward with truth, and they're putting an end to the mockery. Perhaps they laughed at these boundaries the divine feminines had set, and they didn't think anyone would ever stand up to them like that or walk away from them. They thought they were all that in a bag of chips. That's okay, like a Knight of Wands. They're used to being the player. They're not used to having someone stand up to them like that. So they mocked it. They mocked those boundaries set, but it's it's an end to that mockery. And Spirit's saying now you can celebrate because your Ten of Cups is here, and so embrace this change the Ten of Cups offer. You can trust it in the sun dance here. Number 3, you can trust it and be at peace with the body, mind, and soul. The Sun card is here to remind you the happiest card of all. It is a wish fulfillment. And clarify the Two of Wands. Clarify the Two of Wands. And advice for Two of Wands. Advice for Two of Wands. Advice concerning Two of Wands. So, clarifying Two of Wands is honor. Making that decision with honor. Make the right choice this time. Don't choose low vibrational, shadow energy, toxicity. Choose the higher road. Choose to be high vibration, your soul purpose in mission. And have honor, for Pete's sake. That's not what they came across, but that's what word I'll say is for stability. Move forward with honor, self-respect. The corn maiden, you need to plant. Number 2, you both together will plant new seeds for growth moving forward, to be abundant in all things. And know that this is the future advice, is to plant new seeds moving forward with this person, because they are changed. They are a new person. They've gone through transformation just as the feminine has. And know the stars are with you. Number 8, that as this fighter has to have faith in the way Spirit created them, or when their earthly being is a spider, that Spirit has to trust that web is going to hold them. When they spin their web, they go from one spot on this tiny piece of silk and jump to another corner to make their web. And they have to trust that little piece of string is going to hold their body from falling to the floor. So be the spider and have faith. Everything is working out in divine timing, and you have the stars to guide you. Also have here the Thunderbird. That Thunderbird is number 9. It's the spirit. The Thunderbird spirit is divine guidance, but also to give thanks for your gifts. Knight of Swords spirit. Justice is coming in regarding this communication with the Knight of Swords. So he's going to come in speaking his truth, just like this, but Justice card is here to balance it, so that it's just and right. Okay, that was a clarification of what advice the Spirit has for the Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine regarding Knight of Swords and Justice. Advice for this future card. Put a death to the fighting. There's a death to the battles, the fighting, not only in your mind's sake, that make a change the way you're thinking. Don't have monkey mind and fight and overanalyze, but also verbally or telepathically stop fighting with the divine counterpart. Put a death to the battle. Because Justice is here. Remember, they are a different person just as the feminine is. They're coming in a new person. Same avatar, but different soul. And the victory will be yours. Need clarify 6 of Swords, please. Pipes. Shields. Six of Swords, moving forward in their path. You are protected. Warrior of Shields, you are protected by divine. This is a divinely guided connection. So trust for synchronicities. The peace pipes is the smoke signals, right? Trust the synchronicities that you're seeing around you for guidance from spirit. Three of Wands. Clarify Three of Wands. And advice for the future with Three of Wands. Contentment, yes. You're going to choose and be content with this decision because it's divinely guided. And you will dance and celebrate regarding that decision. Justice is here, or judgment is here. Clarify judgment. And advice. I have flippers, hang on. So the Chief of Blades is judgment. This is like the King of Swords speaking truth. And truth will prevail, Spirit's saying. And advice moving forward is to celebrate. Embrace the flame connection. Embrace this and move forward with a new beginning. It's the number 1 card. Chariot. Clarify Chariot. Clarify Chariot. Yes, Chief. Okay, that's funny because it was there earlier and I didn't take it. It was on the bottom. Chief of Pipes is the pipes. Member is the peace pipe. So the chief pipe is taking control of sitting down together for peace in your path. So not only are you going to, the peace pipe is about watching for synchronicities and signs and synchronicities that you're regarding this connection, but to sit down and smoke the peace pipe for clarity, for peace, have communication with one another, but coming together with peace. Any advice moving forward regarding that for Chariot? Vessels. Be creative. It's a number 1 new beginning. Vessels. A new beginning. Be creative. You're going to create to move forward in the new beginning. You'll be creative in your new beginnings. Okay. Synthesize messages, Spirit. Synthesize messages for advice. Advice, thank you. Another advice. A romantic partner you can trust. Excellent advice that comes from the heart. Getting involved in a cultural or creative endeavor. A bright future manifested through hard work and creativity. Partnering with others who share your dream. Great progress being made. Okay, so this is what I have for you. I hope you have a blessed day and congratulations on your awakening.